Hey everyone, we're going to be taking a look at some Surface 3 gaming today. The first game we're going to take a look at is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. So we're going to take a look at the settings. We're going to set everything 720p, everything essentially set to low. AA and AF turned off, all the decals, quality, texture quality, all that stuff down, set down to low. View distance all down to low as well. So let's go ahead and get it going on this. Keep in mind this is a 4 gigabyte model with 128 gigabyte eMMC storage. Okay. Alright. So while it's loading, I'll go ahead and fire up the on-screen display. And if you've been watching any of my other videos, you kind of know probably what you're looking at here. But if this is the first video, you can take a look over here to the left and you'll see the frame rate up top. Below that we have our CPU temperatures and our CPU usage for each core. Below that we have our system memory usage, we have our GPU usage, our VRAM usage, our GPU temperatures and clock speed, and then our CPU clock speeds all down on the bottom. Again, we're playing this game at 720p low settings using the Surface 3 with the Cherry Trail SoC and the Generation 8 16EU Intel HD graphics. So right out of the gate we're looking at about in the 30 frames per second range. As you can see, the CPU cores are getting kind of toasty already, so um, thermal throttling is probably imminent at this point in time. But let's go ahead and continue to play and see what we and see what we run into on the thermal throttling part. Okay, we're seeing the CPU dip down to the 1600 megahertz range, so it's definitely going back to the base clock on the CPU. So we're seeing a little thermal throttling occurring. GPU still around 400 to 500 megahertz, so it's not throttling as bad, but it's throttling a little bit. Obviously, it is due to thermal, due to heat. However, there could be some um, TDP throttling going on as well. Yeah, so now our temperatures have dropped down to the 70s, high 70s C range. Our clock speeds are sitting down at 1600 megahertz range, and even our GPU has dropped down to 400 megahertz. Um, and obviously, frame rate has suffered because of that. We're only sitting in the 20 frames per second range, going up to 30s every now and then. So we're still throttled at this point. I would assume it would come back up for her, at least for a little bit, and then throttle back down again. I will say, looking at the performance of this game and running similar settings using the Core M5YI10, or sorry, the 5 was it 5Y10, I believe, and I would say the performance is actually very similar. Not so much because the Core M was thermally restricted; it was actually TDP restricted. The Core M actually has a stronger GPU and obviously a stronger CPU as well. Even though it was only dual core, it's hyper-threaded dual core. It's actually stronger than the quad-core Atom that lies in the Surface 3. So I haven't seen the GPU dip down below 400 megahertz now, but CPUs are not getting any higher than 1600 megahertz at this point. So even with the throttling, we're looking at high 20s in the frame rate wise. Now, obviously, there probably are some parts in this game where the frame rate would even dip lower, such as there are some dungeons in some different levels where there's a lot of particle effects, maybe some lighting effects as well that would cause a frame rate to dip even further than what you're seeing here. But we're seeing a lot of throttling occurring, even on this, most on the CPU now, where it once was 1600 megahertz on all four cores. Now we're seeing 1.2, 1.3 gigahertz, which is translating into less and less frame rates. So obviously we haven't been playing for very long here. I couldn't imagine playing this game for extended periods of time um, and trying to get good performance. If you're okay with playing this game at 20 frames per second, on average probably 20-25, then you'll be fine with it. But I can't say it's really playable for an extended amount of time because of the throttling that's occurring. It's to the point now where the CPU is being extremely throttled. However, the GPU is holding true at 400 megahertz. It's not dipping any below that, so that's good to see, I guess. VRAM usage is not very high in this game either. It's only 275 megabytes, which is really low. Obviously, everybody knows that modded Skyrim can, at high resolutions, can eat up the VRAM, but 720p low settings is not really using much at all. System memory is at 2.4 gigabytes, so not much either. And the GPU usage is obviously pegged at 100%. So that's kind of my take and my look at Skyrim. Would I say it's playable? Probably not really for an extended amount of time. I would say that it's going to dip too much in the frame rate and really not be a pleasant experience. Um, that's kind of my take on it at this point in time. But I just wanted to show you all a video of the performance. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for checking out the video.